my dogs. How for the room? How was everybody feeling for real?
Great, man. I was talking to you about it yesterday, but I had a great week, man.
There we
It was
go.
a spiritual week for
There we go.
myself. So I thought that was some real enlightenment took place.
Are we talking about that on the show, or do we no get into a
Uh,
little bit?
I can get to a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
I won't go too far into it because I'm fairly new to it,
Bet.
and a lot of it is like very personal. So like the
Facts.
initial
Facts.
one, I was like, yeah, I got to keep that one to the chest. But um, a friend of mine got permission from her great grandmother to for me to be able to build a Dia de los Muertos, and I was able to build like the structure of it, but you have to go through like the blessing of it all. So in order to do so, I would have to like connect with ancestors and stuff like that. So it was it was a process, and like there was a lot of like heavy shit that was like in the processing of it, in order to like even build it in the first place. Like before I could even go through the like actually be able to bless it, I had to reconnect, and in a way it was like I've turned my back on my ancestors, so I had to be open and honest with them in order to gain their blessings to then celebrate them.
Wow.
So like it was a good amount of connection that happened there, and like the whole process. Like I talked to you about it. I won't go into detail now, but like, bro, like everybody has their process. You know what I mean? And like these things, they come to you in like kind of like in fragments, to tell you the truth. So like when it does, like when you do have like a lightened moment, it's it's a beautiful thing. So like I think for me personally, this was a very productive, great week for me, for a lot of the stuff that I've dealt with. So yeah. So shout out to her for that, for getting that for me, and then now I can move forward.
What when you for because I think my favorite part when you were telling last night, you were like, yo, permission and tapping in with the ancestors and so like cultural. I think what probably since my first time out the country, it fucked me up because it was like, oh, I don't know anything in terms of like what I've accepted as, oh, it just is, and you go, why? Somebody told us it was that way,
Yeah.
but inside of societies or subcultures, and everybody's had to kind of conform and figure out the general way of getting by. So ancient practices that are very specific to certain cultures. You look at West Indian and all different things that some and not even somehow, but because fuck it written in our law is shit from the Bible, which is fucking mind blowing when you think about it. Like Christianity rules the world, and we just kind of come to accept it as what it is. So certain things can be dismissed as, oh, that's devil worship. And you're like, wait, what? And like, how did you get there?
Bro, they took land and then pushed their religion on you, bro. That's a crazy mind fuck, bro.
Damn.
And
What?
it's interesting. Now they're trying to get back to all those ancient practices.
So, okay, that's what I was going to ask. G, for you, was it studying initially, or was it just were you just introduced to it? Like what were the chain of events?
I've always been fascinated with that, with the day, but I wasn't so familiar in the everything that goes into it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think as far as like the connection with the ancestors part and like the turning the back on them and stuff like that, it's not so much like, oh, I don't fuck with them, or I haven't, I don't fuck with them at all or anything like that. It's more so I've been trying to talk to them, but I have no like there's been no signs or like nothing that shows that like anybody there's my back is there's a support system there. And what ended up happening was that initially, I don't have, or your ancestors know everything about you already. So my question initially was, why do I need to be open with them if they already know? You know what I mean? So, but that was my initial question. Right. But the truth is that no, that's not the way to look at it. And it was like a lesson in life as well, was that just because they know it all doesn't mean that you shouldn't still be open and honest. Because just because they know it all, it's even better that it gives you open terrain to be open and honest.
Right.
And once you're able to do so, it lifts so much off of your mental, your shoulders. It frees you in a way. You know what I mean? So to be able to be, I mean, that's really what therapy is, to tell you the truth, is that you go in there, you're able to like be open and honest and, you know, get different wording for what it is that you're dealing with. The language, you get the language down.
That's what you'll get like the strategy part of it.
Yeah.
Like how you're able to frame shit.
Yeah.
To make it make sense and to be able to use something that you simply would just either, it would be tongue in cheek or just be in the moment, for it to then become a tool because of the framing and the language at some point. And it just, I don't know. Damn, man. What, because is it, how long, is it a week? How long, or is it the whole month?
It's as long as you, like, you can start the process at the point that you want to. I started mine on, what was that? I want to say it was Tuesday. But the main thing is that you connect with them throughout that week or whatever, and then like the strongest day is supposed to be the 2nd, November 2nd. Where like your portal is the most open, so you may get like, you know, actual signs of whatever from them that they have, like they have you or whatever.
Actual
you know what I mean? So there might stuff like this. So just be on the lookout for that. But really, it's the whole thing is just like really being able to connect with each and every one of them in whatever way you want to. You can write notes, you can have them already, and you can put them all into the portal, and that's your connection back and forth with them. Well, I ain't touched one of them in so long. You see, I didn't even know how to handle it. I was like,
what's happening? What is this?
Where is this thing
The
going?
spirits got me.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
What is there a clear demand that you got to be sober and to do it? Like, can you?
No.
Oh, that's
actually a part of it. In the middle of the structure, you have there's a plate. I'm sorry, I don't have all the terms down yet. This is my first year, but there's a plate. You have there's salt around it for like the not breaking the plane, so it has to be a bold line all the way across. It shouldn't have any cuts or anything like that, anything that breaks it. And then the inside of there is a cup or whatever piece that you want to have in there that can hold liquor in it. So that'll have like really for the most part it's tequila, but you can do wine or whatever. But the main thing is that when you light you're lighting candles in front of each one of like the pictures, but for all your family members, but you have the last one that you light is the one that actually opens up the portal. So when that's open, then that's where you can have like, you know, food offerings, notes, drink with them, stuff like that. So that's how you have this. So it's not you don't have to be sober,
right? And
but you know, the main thing is just being completely open to whatever, and that's first and foremost, and it frees you, it frees them as well. Because what I learned in mine, at least for myself, was that the one that was my blockage, that's blocked me from even in the first place being able to connect with them. I was holding that spirit. I was holding that one hostage, so I had to free that one. And it was crazy because I had a sign or whatever, and like the thing was that the candle that I had was burning crazy hot, but it wasn't like the wax wasn't doing anything. Like it was just the flame, and like it would go in and out, and it was just like the sign of like, bro, like she was fucking like just basically just cursed me out, bro. Like, bro, I've been stuck, and I was just thinking about the episode of Black Mirror where they had a consciousness,
bro,
and like you had them stuck in whatever portal that is, so like the in between, because of like things that I built and like put it into a box and just had it sit there. So like that was like it was like, bro, I need to free her from, you know, that box and like everything that I've like built up you know, it's something that's had her stuck. So that was an important thing too.
You said it was a metaphor for life too, and it was that what you were referencing, like the concept of just letting shit go, like the whole shooters don't have a conscience shit. On God, that shit made sense in some capacity when we were like in high school, when you see a fucking Tim Pierce or Johnny Bryant, them niggas would just pull up like cross half court. But it wasn't until this nigga Steph would just shoot the ball and turn and go the other way. It's like, that nigga don't care whether that bitch will go in or not, but it's probably going in. You know.
Hey, don't pass up Swaggy P too. I mean, Swaggy P do that too.
He damn near was the first one to do it, actually, and he missed it, but he did it. It looked cool as fuck when he did it. But
that was his walk-off moment.
But I guess I think I was either telling you this shit or telling Poe asked, and I was like, bro, I'm really, I think I'm getting closer to that space where right or wrong is just like, nigga, that's all relative, because we could get around the corner and what was right on that block over there is wrong over here. So what use is it to be that attached to the right or wrong? And then another step beyond that, when you really not taking shit personal, I feel like you got so much control, bro. Like what can stop you at that point, you know? And the metaphor for life shit just resonated.
Yeah, I think that was a heavy part of it for me. Like, that was probably my biggest awakening, was that I was holding an individual on a pedestal, yes, but a lot of things is hindsight, and like where my guilt comes in at, you know what I mean? And I think that was something that was crazy to me, because the reaction that I received was like from that side of the portal was just like, bro, like, you have to let it go.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And that was like, bro, like, that was something different to me, because it's like the whole time over here thinking that I'm like holding down the situation, you know, like, by not forgetting or not like letting it go or whatever. I'm doing justice over here.
Yeah, this is me doing my part.
But in truth, like they're not at peace, bro. Like, they're not at peace until you are. And
wow.
That's a part that I didn't.
That's a bar.
Know, I didn't catch. I wasn't catching. I was misfiring on that part.
Hey, if you like that clip, be sure to like, share, subscribe on whatever part of the screen that you see it on, and go back through our clips and be sure to like, share on those as well. Appreciate y'all.